Kenta!
Yes?
Oh, come on in.
I'm right here.
Well, what's this?
It's Marcy. Marcy the pan.
Marcy the pan?
You said we're going to work with Marcy the pan. So I brought it to you.
No. We are going to make marzipan.
Oh, Marcy's going to be very disappointed.
Oh, I'm very sorry, Marcy.
She's okay.
Well, I'm sorry about your friend Marcy, but
yes.
Do you know what marzipan is?
No, unfortunately. You'll have to explain.
Okay, so marzipan is an almond paste.
Paste?
Yes, it's like a candy. It's got about the consistency of a fudge. But it's made with almonds, and
almond fudge.
Yep, and it can be used in many different ways. You can use it as a candy, you can cover it with chocolate, you can roll it out and cover a cake with it instead of fondant or frosting, or you can even mold it into little shapes. Sometimes they're made into shapes like fruits or flowers or just about anything you want.
Or a pan.
Or you could make a pan out of marzipan.
A marzipan pan.
A Marcy marzipan pan.
Confusing, isn't it?
And while most marzipan is made with eggs, I found a vegan alternative that's
a vegan recipe.
A vegan recipe for marzipan that's only 3 ingredients.
Wow!
Do you want to learn what the 3 ingredients are?
Sure.
Okay. Our first ingredient is almond flour.
Almond flour?
Yep, now almond flour is just almonds that are ground up until they have the consistency.
Crush.
Yep, crush. Yep, just until they are the consistency of flour. We are going
a marzipan candy crush.
Exactly, that's really great. So we are going to use 2 cups of almond flour, or almond meal it's sometimes called.
I'm not going to make a meal of it. Who's a meal?
Our next ingredient is
sugar.
Sugar, confectioner sugar or powdered sugar. Sometimes it's called icing sugar. You're going to use this to, 1, sweeten up the almonds, and also this type of sugar also gives it a little bit more of its body. We are going to be using 1 1/4 cups confectioner sugar.
No comment.
Okay. And our third ingredient is?
The water! I think it holds it all together.
It does. So you're going to use, it really depends on a lot of conditions, including how warm and how humid it is outside, and just the consistency.
It's very humid out right now.
It really is. So I recommend making sure that you have a 1/2 cup of ice cold water nearby, but it can take anything between a couple of tablespoons up to even more than a 1/2 cup, but just regular old water.
Wow, roll with the water.
Exactly, and we have 1 more ingredient. It would bring it up to 4 ingredients, and it is not necessary, but you may want to add a little bit of almond extract as well.
Cheating.
It could be cheating. A lot of people like marzipan that's very lightly flavored, in which case it is a true 3 ingredient recipe. If you like it to have a lot more almond flavor, you can add in the...
Then you cheat.
Then you cheat. You add in the almond extract. We are going to cheat a little bit, and we are going to add almond extract, but a lot of recipes don't consider water to be an ingredient because everybody should have water in their kitchen.
Uh-huh.
He's not convinced. Let's see how to make this. This recipe really couldn't be any easier. In my bowl, I just have 2 cups of almond flour. You could also use almond meal, or you could grind up your own almonds if you want to. I just find the flour is already in the perfect texture. It's been ground incredibly fine, and it will make a nice, smooth marzipan. So that's 2 cups, and to it I'm going to add 1 1/4 cups of icing sugar, confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to use a fork to just mix this up so that it's all incorporated really nicely together. Now that my dry ingredients are mixed together, I have about a 1/2 cup of ice cold water, and to that I'm just going to add a real small couple of drops of almond extract. Just a little tiny bit. Because this is already made out of almonds, you really don't need to add too much. Now, to keep this to exactly 3 ingredients, you don't have to add the almond extract at all. This has a really nice light almond flavor, but I like my marzipan to really taste overwhelmingly of almonds, so I've added that together. Now I'm going to add this water just a little bit at a time, and I will stop as soon as this starts to incorporate. Might have to add a little bit more. I probably will only have to add this or a little bit less. Alright, now that this has come together about as well as it can, using my fork, I am now just going to set that aside, and I'm going to start mixing this with my hands. This has come together really nicely. It's still a little bit sticky, but what I'm going to do is wrap this in cling wrap and throw it in the refrigerator for about half an hour to an hour. You can keep it wrapped up in the fridge as long as it is tightly sealed so that it can be used anytime you're ready to use it. But in order to be able to mold it or roll it out to use it as the topping for a cake or anything like that, you are going to want to chill this for a bit. Alright, so this is sealed up nice and tight, so I'm just going to throw this in the fridge and then we can work with it after it's chilled for a bit. Alright, so it's been about an hour and this has been in the fridge, so it is much easier to work with. It's not sticking to my hands anymore. It feels definitely much more like a regular marzipan. So what you can do with this is you could flatten the whole thing out and roll it out and use it as a covering for cake or cupcakes. You could also, as you see, it is very moldable, so you could actually use it to make little figures. A lot of times people make marzipan into the shape of fruits or flowers, all sorts of things. I like marzipan just as a regular candy, so what I'm going to do is take just a little bit of each and I'm just going to roll them out into, I guess, little logs of marzipan. Just about enough that you would get a couple of servings, or if you're me, one serving at a time. So about the size of maybe if you're in the US and you're used to Tootsie Rolls, the size of kind of a medium-sized to large Tootsie Roll. Okay, and these are all about a good size to just take with me to work for a snack or something, so I can just wrap these up, throw them in the fridge, and then take them as I need them. Let's see how they taste. Well, what do you think?
Mmm, very sweet.
There it is.
Nice and almondy.
Yep, it's very sweet. It has
a sort of a doughy consistency.
It does. This has the same consistency of, say, modeling clay, or if you've ever tried fondant, which is the type of smooth.
I'm not fond of it.
A lot of people aren't fond of fondant because that can be just very sweet and very oily, whereas marzipan has a really nice light flavor. It's not as easy to work with as fondant is, but you can use this as a sculpting medium. You can make little fruits, little flowers, little sculpture.
Or like Marcy the Pan.
Marcy the Pan, we could make Marcy the Pan. And it's just really great on its own. Almond's one of those flavors that we don't really use very much in the United States, and I think we should because it's really quite tasty.
Okay.
Alright.
Alright.
Thanks so much for joining me, Kata.
You're very welcome.
So, did you have a good time learning about marzipan?
Oh, I always have good time here.
Well, what can the people who are watching this do if they had a good time?
Well, they can comment on the screen down below.
Yep, there is a little form down below where Kata is looking for it. You can leave a comment. Why not tell us something that you would like us to try to make out of just 3 ingredients?
Yes.
Anything else they could do?
They can subscribe.
Subscribing's really great. You get informed every time we have a new recipe. We make a 3-ingredient recipe every Thursday, but there's a lot of other shows on this channel as well.
Of course.
Yep.
Some of them even have cats on it.
Yes, George is a cat, and then we have 2 new monsters who are going to be showing up very soon.
Very soon?
Yep. Pixie.
How soon?
As soon as we finish sewing their hands.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense to puppets, but and also sharing helps a whole lot. So if you want to, you can share this video on social media or just send it to your friends.
Yes.
So thanks so much for joining me. I felt bad about your friend Marzipan, so I made a little Marzipan marzipan.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Do you think she'll like it?
Oh, she will love it. Although her boyfriend will be a little disappointed that you didn't make one of him. You know, Michael the Pot.
All right, thanks so much for joining us this time. We'll see you again next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Do you know what marzipan is?
Apparently not, considering our cold opening.
You get too cheeky sometimes. Okay.
What?
Okay. And our 3rd ingredient is...
Water.
Water. Well, one more time.